Hi, good evening, everybody. This is going to be another one of the relaxation streams where I'll maybe not talk so much about the game. I won't not talk about the game, but gotta move the mic a little bit, so it's probably going to be a bit noisy. Anyways, so the plan is to enjoy the game. I think the stream might be a little loud, so let me just change this around. So what's going to be a bit funny here is I'm actually recording two videos at once, and I've got one for, I don't know, some of the people who would maybe be watching this on Twitch, and I know Twitch doesn't give me transcoding options when we do these kinds of videos. But I also wanted to do a nice version for YouTube, so I'm really bumping up the bitrate and yeah, just trying something a little bit new here. So the last time I tried this, I did have some technical problems, but we'll see if we can overcome those. So the sharp-eyed amongst you might notice that we are playing Green Planet. Now, I'm actually recording this at a time when the game is still under embargo. But of course, the point is that I'm getting this done now because I know I won't be able to be live on the day that I wanted to do it. And of course, the game will be released when this video is coming out anyway. But I have been putting a little bit of time into it, and it's a really neat bit of content. It's definitely oriented towards the end game, so I am really more familiar with it with the advertising rather than any direct experiences of it. But there are a few new things. We'll probably see it. And the great news is it seems that it's compatible with some of the earlier saves. So as you can see, I've put a bit of time into this. Definitely trying something a little bit sterner than what we're doing. But I'm really excited that I'm able to continue this playthrough, and we'll get to see the story of the Blue Sun Corporation. So for those of you unfamiliar with this format, the real focus behind this is to lead into the fact that I find Surviving Mars a very relaxing, very enjoyable game, and combine that with the fact that I don't know, quite a few people seem to say that they like sort of relaxing to these kinds of videos. Oh, and unfortunately, it looks like I'm running into the problem I thought I would. So I wanted to record this at 60 frames, but I think the fact that I'm recording two videos at once is really hurting the frame rate. It actually looks like one's down to 30 and the other one's actually down to 20, so it's probably going to be quite stuttery for those of you who are on Twitch. I apologize for that. We'll see if maybe if it improves over time, but that's fine. We're here for the experience. So what I want to talk a little bit about why I'm doing these streams. Like I said, some people do enjoy being able to watch the cast and sort of go to sleep to it. And the thing is I do have a very silly side sometimes, and I sort of like to shout or jump at a game. And I thought that this would be a nice little opportunity for me to play a game which is very relaxing, to take my time with it, to sort of savor the beauty of the game, enjoy this wonderful music. I rather regret that I didn't get the soundtrack for this, because I'd love to be able to have this on while I'm doing some work. And just to enjoy a very peaceful, very enjoyable game about a very optimistic subject. Now, I'll just warn you guys, I am actually recording this on a Monday, so I'm going to be streaming in probably about an hour and a half. I'm going to try and do 2 hours of this. Obviously, that means I'm going to be streaming a bit later tonight, but this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, just because I've got some other constraints, but I've definitely been having a good time with Green Planet, and seeing as it'll probably be released on the day that this video becomes available, it feels like a really good opportunity to, I wanted to have something to mark the occasion. So let's talk a little bit about the state of our colony. We're 53 days in. We've also started seeing mysterious objects. So here we've got the cube, the black cube matrix. Um, and we've got a few developments in our colony, so I think this was our A site. We've definitely built it up. We've got sort of some infrastructure so far as colonists growing food are concerned. We did need to boost up our farming capabilities, I think. So this is going to take a little while for us to get the right outputs, but our wheat harvest should be pretty good. In this case, it's 23, but it takes every 2 days. So in reality, we're getting about 46 out of this in the same period. It's actually in a shorter period of time than this, but I can't quite work this out exactly. So as far as concerns, we've got... Oh, interesting. So it looks like it's really complaining. So just give me a second here. The music's gonna cut out. Let me see if there's something I can do on this end. Maybe this will fix things. There might be a bit of a jump in terms of the quality, but... Well, lesson learned. I'll have to play around with the settings a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter one, so we don't need to worry too much. We won't have a lot of activity that gets missed if some people are not able to watch. So we've got our main site. We've got a Martian university, which is taking a lot of these non-specialists and giving them what we need. We're all right for our rules. So we've got 55 spots open for people. We also have 43 jobs open, so we're definitely looking to get some more bodies in the colony if we can. Of course, it does say that we're getting a bit low on food, so we need to keep an eye on that. We've also started to try and make the colony a bit more self-sustaining. So in this particular case, we are generating polymers. Now we're generating 4 at the moment, but we are consuming about 8. And it does look like, I wonder if I can get these good folks to put their attention where they need to be. Oh, well, it says apparently we're making 9.1 production, so this might actually be enough. So we may be self-sufficient for polymers. We just started with the machine parts factory. So for machine parts, our maintenance requirements are 4.4. We're not quite meeting that, but we've got a nice big stockpile. And then for electronics, this is the real dilemma that we face, because we're actually rather good at producing it. It was the first producer that we made, but we consume so much of it. It's not even a question of maintenance, but it's really just the fact that we're very hungry for electronics. That's going to become a bit of a dilemma here. So I think I talked about my manufacturing base. I think, yeah. So we've got a top-tier electronics factory right now, but it's very clear that we're going to need to build a second. And I might even want to consider where I'm at with the rare metals extraction. Oh. Oh, no. I just wanted to assign... some specialists to a better role. Oh well. So we're already on our way to Site B. We're building another Martian university, and that's just because we're already at capacity here. What else do we have? Yeah, I've got an infirmary coming online. So this really is a civilian building with a particular focus towards... it's a real focus towards sort of amenities, for lack of a better term. Let's consider for a moment, because I'm trying to remember exactly what I was trying to accomplish here. So this takes... So we produce 10, consume 3. I could probably build another electronics. Could probably build another electronics factory. I seem to remember the power consumption's not that high. I also just want to take a quick look here and see if there's any other... I can do some upgrades, so let's upgrade our water. Amplified the extraction. Okay, so we've got enough for more water if we need it. And where does this tunnel go? Oh, that's right, we wanted to make our research center. I remember now. Okay, well here's what I'm gonna do first. Nope, I already had that plan. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna secure our food supply, and I think it'd be a really good idea to consider another, I think it'd be good to consider another electronics factory, because the research is gonna require quite a bit of electronics. But while we focus on that, I think what it will do, that's going to let us build up our polymers and our other resources for building that other dome. Okay, so I don't know if I can build an electronics factory right on its own. No, so we would need to import one. I could also build some corporate offices. That would improve my income, but comfort penalties are going to be a little tricky to deal with, so... Yeah. I think electronics would be the better call. And I forget how much water this takes. It takes 2, so this should actually be a priority to build. Now, what I would normally want to do here is to drop another... Uh-oh. Looks like somebody's missing out on a job. So you're a botanist. Well, I got good news for you. You can go to work right here. Oh, looks like we got a few people who are out of work. So they're an engineer, they can go to work on polymers. Looks like the Caius 1 is potentially ready to go. Doesn't have too many rare metals, but that's not too bad because we don't really need the money right now. So we'll send that back home. Uh-oh. Yeah, it looks like we have a really big labor shortage right now, actually. So Martian University is going to take quite a bit in terms of electronics, so I think I'm going to hold off on that one. We'll maybe fill up the jobs for the other domes right now. And then... yeah, I'm going to hold off on Site B for a little while. The main plan is going to be... I actually need to decide whether or not I want to build a basic dome or a barrel dome. Barrel dome is probably the smarter choice.
You're listening to Mars Official Radio with Panna Masculine, your first radio host choice with the best radio voice.
I like the official Mars, but I think this one's a little more appropriate for our playthrough. I was wondering why the music was a bit uncharacteristic. So yeah, Site B is going to take advantage of the 40 research boost. I was wondering if there's a way for me to cheese, 3, but it wouldn't quite work out. And the plan is that I want to build something that scientists will like, and basically just put as much as I can. There's a bit of an argument that I might also want to put space for geologists, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. I mean, I suppose what I could do is we can put up there. Oh. We can do that actually, so. Metal extractor, put that. Something like there. Well, it'll get dirty, but I think I'm willing to go for it because that would give me access to metal. We have a lot of it right now. Just want to take a quick look at my battery capacity, so we're covered for now. Oh, we actually have more than enough. Again, I'm really sorry about the frame rate, guys. I don't know if it's that apparent. I occasionally catch it out of the corner of my eye. But we'll work with it. I'm actually just gonna maximize the video, see if that helps anything. Okay, so let's take stock. I do need to deal with a future where I no longer have rare metals. We are very close to depleting this this deposit, but we do have a backup, and this has lasted about 53 days. So we're not in too bad of shape there. By the way, something got added. I think this is new in Green Planet, but there's now large dumping sites. This works really well for me. Oh, looks like we do have somebody building. Let's get them to build soybeans. Low yield grows slowly but improves the soil. I'd love to try the seed crop, but right now let's just do soybeans like everything else. You having a little trouble finding a home? We'll see if this situation resolves itself. It's a shame that these guys can't find homes. But yeah, so I have two big decisions that I need to make. Number one will be to finish the industrial base. So we started with our first colony, and we moved our way up. Now I'm reasonably excited about how things turned out here because obviously I'm on my way to getting more getting more food. Oh, you know what? I think we are going to make this a specialist building. It makes me feel bad, but I think because we have a shortage of non-specialist labor, it wouldn't hurt for me to just be a little more exclusive on some of these roles. Medics are another good example of this. Lots of kids, that's why education's important. I probably should have gave this place a few more parks. Yep, gave them a playground, but I didn't give everyone a park to go through. Now, as far as my drones are concerned, I might be able to fit, if I'm lucky, 2 more barrel domes. I do want to be a little careful because it's nice to have everything connected together, but I'm obviously missing out on the benefits of spires and such. So the plan has really been to, what's a good way of putting this? I've really wanted to get the colony sort of self-sufficient if I can. We're close, we're not exactly where we need to be on that. I do like these numbers though. So electronics are really going to be the last worry about that. The machine parts factory is going to come in time. What I might wind up doing at some point is making the polymer factory specialist only, and then make the machine parts factory sort of open to everyone. The idea is I sort of want my surplus population, if I can, to be moving between. I want to have like one specialist building that's sort of getting the lion's share of non-specialists. But I don't want to do that too quickly because it will hurt my ability to generate some of the parts that I need. I'm just going to pause for a quick minute for a little refreshment. Now, the big problem that I have is we've got some technology, but it's definitely taking us a while to get all of this done. I'm happy that I'm going to be getting some extra power production, and being able to do things like build a drone hub. If I need, more applicants will definitely be helpful. I really want the utility crops. There's definitely quite a few things that I would like to get. The thing that's holding me back is that I'm really only getting 300 research per day or per sol. So what I'd kind of like to do now is to, now that we're getting very close to sufficiency as far as our self-sufficiency, as far as our our production is concerned, what I'd like to do is start moving towards more of our research concerns. I'm not completely out of the woods because obviously we've used up half of our water here, and we're getting close to the end as far as rare metals. But I think if we can get a nice base to work off of, if we can get ourselves set up in such a way that we're able to, what's a good way to put this? If we can get ourselves set up so that essentially I am replacing things that if we're replacing things that we used to have, that will direct my placement of future domes. So for instance, I do want to get to a point where I'm able to put another electronics factory down, because that will probably give us enough production to deal with the consumption and maintenance. And then as we carry on, the plan is going to be, oh, did I forget one of my, yeah, that's got the coating. Okay, good. What was I saying? So yeah, I sort of have one of each production building now, and what my decisions can be is how do I want to allocate my production. As far as the refined goods, so right now we pick metal up off the ground, which is not an ideal solution, but we still have some candidates, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. It's harvesting concrete right now, which I really don't need. No, actually, that's not true. Uh-oh. Looks like my game is not responding. I'm curious, did I do something? Uh-oh. think I'm gonna have to force quit. That's a shame, because I know we'll lose a little bit of progress doing that. I wonder if there's a hotkey for saving. Let me just take a quick look at that, and then we'll be able to jump in right away. Okay. Alright, well, we'll lose a little bit of progress. That's a shame, but it's a very enjoyable game, so I'm not gonna mind reliving the moments. We're on Sol 54. I think I'm gonna need to I'll have to redo the water upgrades, and I'll have to build that farm again. Those were the only two really high priorities I had. Yeah, so it didn't autosave, but that's fine. We only lost a day. Been doing a course at work recently. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's right. We'll launch the ship again. So let's get you building. I'm curious if I can auto upgrade. Yep. So that's gonna cost me 8. That's a really convenient shortcut. What else? I think that was it. Because I don't have the electronics yet. So we'll take the Caius one, we'll send that off. Oh, that's right, I had something for my harvester to do. So always happy to have them thinking ahead. But let's get them to recover, what are these? These are polymers. You know what? Let's start with something a little more straightforward. Let's get you to. Oh, you know what? Can do slightly better. We'll just take it off this side here. I just want to make sure I don't have any concrete inside. There we go. That'll work a bit better for us. Okay, so it's definitely producing concrete. It just seems to be producing it at a slow rate. That or we've been using a lot of it. We did make a bunch of platforms, so I suppose that makes sense. Okay. One of the real shames about me recording this way was I really wanted to make the visuals sort of sing. Okay, we've got an unemployed gentleman. Sorry, I just want to make sure that everybody's focusing on what they should. So that's no fun. We can find him a job, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll get our friends the geologists back on to rare metals. And then we can put our friend here into polymers. I'd also really like it if some of my botanists can help out with the farm. So we'll need a grocer, but we have others available. And similar story with the art store, but I think we'll be okay for a while. Let's just make sure my little harvester friend is doing what they're supposed to. It is a little tempting to try and bring some more colonists in. The one worry that I do have is about my food supply. So if we build 31, I should actually write this down. I see my notes from my last game, actually. It is kind of interesting. In some of my other playthroughs, I rely a lot on applicants, whereas this time I'm actually pretty okay with letting the population build itself up. So let's say we get 25.8. That's every 2 days. Uh-oh. Did we lose power? Nope. It's just a new day. Okay, and then we get 31.1 every 5 days, I think. Yeah. And right now, we get 54.3 every 5 days. Oh. I should have caught that earlier. I don't really believe that this is going to be 40, but let's pretend it is. So we're looking at I shouldn't be doing this by hand, but I don't want to tab out just in case. This is a little tricky. So roughly 30 a day it looks like. And we consume 40. Okay. So that means that we are going to need to bring some food in for the colony. That's a tricky one, actually. Because I'm just thinking. Uh-oh. So we've still got some unemployment, and we've still got some... Still got a little housing trouble. But we definitely have room. Okay, so we'll take all these good folks. Okay, now jobs. Let's get them working on those polymers. Uh-oh. This looks like we have people who need jobs. Huh. Well, I suppose that explains my employment problems. So let's try that again. Oh, they're sneaking by. So let's find some of these others. Alright, so they're a non-specialist, so we'll put them to work in the art store. Okay, unemployment's taken care of. So now we'll deal with homelessness. I think I'm just going to wait a little while to see if that resolves on its own. We'll give it maybe to the end of the day. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about is we'll have a metals extractor. The real dilemma is it's going to be pretty dirty, so I think... I mean, I suppose I could try something like this.
Sector scanned.
Actually, here's what I'll do. So let's say we put that there. So I'm gonna move my icon. Nope, that's not gonna work. Just want to move my icons so that they give me an indication about how close. Okay. So just the side of that spaceship. Yeah, so we can actually put a metal extractor in the area, and we'll still be able to get the advantage of 3 research locations. So that's 20, 40, 60, assuming that they stack. And so the plan for, it'll be at least the first site, is I'm going to try and I want to make sure I have enough services available for the scientists. I want to make sure that there's the amenities, so we'll maybe do something like, space bar diner, so on and so forth, but we'll have sort of the residential area, we'll have the amenities, and we'll basically try and build as many of the research centers as we can, and then maybe we'll build another dome that will house the geologists and such. Oh dear, I wasn't thinking about my food. Do we have any crops becoming available? Okay, that's gonna tide us over. Okay. So this is gonna be a little bit risky. But let's say our priority is gonna be non-specialists. Actually, you know what? It'll tell us. So engineers, officers, medics, botanists. So we got 42 applicants, so I think what we're going to do now... Oh, well, it's actually still pretty strict selection criteria, so... Let's see if we have botanists are a high priority just because it will give us, that'll help us with our food. Oh, you know what I'm going to do though? I am going to reduce the age to adults. I wonder if I can get away with youth. Yeah, that's too strict. Okay, we can work with that. So... Oh, more tourists. Okay, well, you know what? I think I can live with the tourists. They're all tourists, though. Let's reconsider. Okay, so I don't have smart complexes yet. I do need to generate 10 million within 5 sols, so that would actually be pretty decent. Let me just think about that. So how much does a tourist give? 10 million on arrival. Okay, so it's a risk, but I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, this should give us enough money and it'll give us a nice big boost of research. Okay, so 11 tourists. I'm just gonna sneeze. So I can bring a botanist or an engineer. I kind of want both. But in this case, I'm gonna bring, well, Peter Jenkins has a better... has better stats. So... And just as a precaution, we'll bring an electronics factory. Actually, I want to take a quick look. I think I'm going to get another Stirling generator just for the sake of it. Oh, we're short on money, actually. Just trying to think for the future.
Funding received.
Oh, still have some homelessness and unemployment problems, it looks like. Do I have a surplus of officers now? No, that doesn't make sense. I think I'm gonna feel okay with it. I think I see what's happening. So I think if I move them too far away from a job, they're not able to do the work. So let's move some of the elderly to see, I think what was happening is they were taking up slots that the workforce needed. Okay. Now, I also want to make sure that some engineers get some of these buildings. This is neat. We've built a little retirement community in our area. I'm very surprised at how low we are on concrete. Okay. So all the spots have been freed up. Or have been taken, rather. Well, you know what? The electronics factory is probably going to fix that soon. Okay, so here's something I'm gonna do. Okay, before I go too far. Okay, so I can take at least one of the non-specialists. Hopefully that's a start.
Sector scanned.
Now I think what I want to do is take some of these engineers. So the reason I'm moving the engineers is there's no engineering work for them here, so they're taking up slots that other people should. Okay. Great. So I believe that will address all of my demographic concerns for now. But I still need to get some of my geologists in place. Okay, so they still work at the rare metals extractor. Where do they work? Well, you know what? Let's change that. So we'll take this engineer, we'll put them over here. So it's Araceli. I think I need to make sure that I'm not accidentally assigning tourists to some of these jobs too. Okay. Yeah, so Irma is a tourist. Alright, so this is a perfect candidate. Great. Okay. So it's going to require a little micromanagement. I kind of wish I didn't have to do this, but we've got a plan now, and that's the important part. Some of this will be fixed too when we build a dome where the scientists can go. Uh-oh. Where do you live? I bet you can work at the casino. Oh, he's already got a job. Okay. So if I can find some places to move my engineers, that'll be good. But we've got a balance right now. What I really want to focus on, if I can, is to get these 2 spots filled with geologists. So maybe... It's hard to tell where these guys work. I think I'll have to live with it for now. Unless I have... If I have some tourists sitting here. Some pretty undesirable traits for some of these folks, but... Okay, you know what? I think we'll live with what we've got right now. That's a little bit of a worry if they don't have any food. Now, with luck, the passengers will give me a little bit of a boost to food, but I want to be careful about this, because more passengers also means more... it means more people demanding food. Also gonna take a quick minute and see. They'll leave the first opportunity after 5 sols, so the good news there is it will also probably lower the demands on my food supply. So we're gonna have a big boost with the current season of tourism, but we're also gonna get a big influx of money. Also, I think I made a really big error. So tourists give... Where was it? I should have caught this earlier. So tourists give 10 million. It's, yes, 10,000 million. So I would need to bring quite a few more tourists to achieve what I thought I was going to. That was my fault. So this will be a little painful on the pocketbook, but we'll make the most of it. I figure we can afford the polymers here, so... And how is our infirmary looking? I think we're okay to build a new one. So we'll make a bit of money off of this, but it's a little different from what I was planning. I'm curious when we get the money. And we've got our supplies. I think I'll put that one further away. So it looks like we just got a harvest. There's good news there. Looks like it still says we're dangerously low, which I can sort of understand. And let's watch the new recruits. Looks like there's a bit of a housing problem. I like the wind turbines in the background.
New colonists have arrived. Colonists are departing.
And let's just take a look why. Okay, well, it's because they were tourists, so I'm not too worried about that at all. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, I'm not worried at all about that because they're all going back to Earth. It's actually kind of fun to watch this all work like this. Let's go in close. I wonder what that would be like. Obviously the drones are riding over the people right now, but you're on your way after a 5-day trip on Mars. You get to see all the drones beside you loading up the precious metals that have been extracted from the surface. You see the ones offloading all the food supplies. That would be exciting. Let's try and get a little bit more of the activity in the domes now. Just see the diner in the background. Ah, this looks so peaceful. I'd love to see them having meals with each other, though. Guess you can't enforce fun. So we'll crank open the Martian University because I think we have lots of jobs that we can get filled. Let's put some specialties in, I think. It'd be nice if I could sort of figure out some of the other people I can move to another dome. I bet I know what I can do though. So they work for machine parts. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, we can launch it. I think these good people want to head home. Let's watch the tourists head home. Maybe we'll watch it from the colony level. Oops. I'm missing the opportunity. Okay. we're on the hill watching them go home. I messed that up. Okay. So these are kind of fun, because I know that these people work in the electronics factory. I just need to find people who work in the machine parts factory. Oh. Good attendance. Oh, great. So they work in the polymer factory. We can definitely put them there.
Research complete.
Oh, great. We got the zero-G turbines. So that one, hands-on observations and problem solving in the low-gravity environment of Mars have helped our engineers come up with solutions for increased wind turbine efficiency. So that's particularly helpful for me because it'll give me some power bonuses without needing to spend anything. They are a little expensive to maintain. So this is a tempting one to go for, but let's see if we can do something better. We're still in the 2000s, so I can get utility crops, mega storage, rover command AI, drone hubs. Now, micro manufacturing would have been nice because this one would have kept me from having to buy the prefab, but we already have an electronics factory on the way, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Now, Site B, it's going to be fairly important for me to get a drone hub set up, but we're probably a little while off of that. I kind of want to make sure that my food is secure. So with that in mind, let's do utility crops. Unlock new crops and farms and hydroponic farms that produce oxygen and improve soil quality. From the salad you eat to the air you breathe, plants have a fundamental role to play for humanity well beyond Earth. Now, we're probably going to have the soil quality that we want by the time we get that upgrade, but I do like building farms in each of my domes, so it's, actually, so this is going to take it to 90, 100, and then we grow wheat. This has still got a way to go. So once we switch all of these to, oh, looks like Kai wound up. They got lost in the shuffle. Well, the good news is they can work. Oh, looks like that spot got taken. That's fine, we'll put them in here. Okay. Looks like we could use some more non-specialists. This is always a little tricky to get a handle on. Now it says that our food is still scarce. We're doing pretty good at producing it, but we did just bring in a bunch more mouths to feed. Wow, look at that. We've got full attendance at a Martian university. It's great news though. It'll make sure that we have sort of peak production in all of our fields. Okay, so let's think a little bit about what our next moves can be. I'm a little shy on polymers. I kind of feel like I need to get more of a surplus before I start considering a second spot. It also occurred to me I don't actually have a proper... Okay, I do have a drone commander, but unfortunately I need it so that they can deal with all of the waste rock. This would be an interesting small dome to build, one dedicated to getting the rare metals. This is a great deposit. Alright, I've been neglecting my scanning. Now we're pretty much, you know, we've got the lay of the land as far as this is concerned. This is all great. Like, we've got a bunch of resources. Looks like I forgot there's an anomaly I can research. Let's get you to go look at that. So yeah, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sites for rare metals. That's great news. Now what we're going to do here, I'm going to be focusing on these. It's not just because they are sort of beside my area. This is actually going to give me an idea in terms of where I might want to build tunnels. For instance, let's say I was worried about a water supply. It's low-grade water, but there's a lot of it. So I could build a tunnel. This would give me access to these areas, and I could have something where maybe we do resource extraction, just water and concrete, and we make sure that they get set up with enough machine parts to kind of keep going on their own. You know, this would not be a bad location for another research site. We probably couldn't do a barrel dome. Yeah, the terrain's a bit unfriendly for that. I bet even a microdome wouldn't be able to. Yeah, that's a shame. Just imagine if we'd been able to get, well, 30%, so. But there's still an argument for building a dome here, because I'll just do barrel. Can do something like this. We can build science. We'll get the better part of the research boost. We'll also have access to more rare metals. But yeah, other than this location, there's really not a huge argument for me to be moving up here. So I think if I was forced, I'd probably see if I could get a tunnel up here, and we'd use that to sort of build a sea site. And I'd also I'd take advantage of the water extraction. I need to think a little bit about what'll happen when I run out of concrete. I think realistically, I'm probably just gonna adjust the position of this one, and we'll carry on as before. So, it's more of them. It's exciting. Alright, we got a few people who are not doing work, so what's happening in the polymer factory? We're out of fuel. Looks like that's just inefficiency on the drone's part, though. So let's get my little friends here. Oh, I'm not going to do that because these guys will get... I see what's happening. So I think the transport between the fuel refineries, it's going straight to this rocket where it should be going to the... That's exactly what's happening. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Gonna take fuel, put it there. I don't think it should matter too much because this rocket's all loaded up, but we'll try and help out our polymer factory a bit because I do want the polymers. Okay, let's think for a minute. I should probably reassign the rest of these little guys. Are there more now?
Research complete. Anomaly analyzed.
Nope. We finished. So that was a surface scratcher step towards understanding the elusive chemical properties of the mystery cubes, what dangers the cubes might pose, and how to manage them. So let's pick a 2000 level technology first. Oh, automated mode sounds good. I think I'm going to go for that. Again, I'd like a drone hub, but we can always buy one if it comes down to it.
We've applied the scientific method in every possible way, to no avail. Time to try something else.
In a moment of brilliance, or possibly desperation, one of the physicists proposed that they should try to crack open the structures. The scientists moved the cube matrix inside a non-byronic shell and proceeded to bombard a single cube with high-energy ions, a process known as sputtering. The results were immediate. The shell of the cube gave in, resulting in its rapid decompression. The matrix itself reacted to the influence by rearranging itself into a solid structure made of the remaining cubes. Though we have no explanation for the process, at least we have a way to deal with the cube matrices popping up everywhere. It appears that the exact solution rests on reason and moderation. Cubes can now be stored in special sites or destroyed. Piece by piece, we will unravel this enigma. Well, I think I'm interested in trying to collect it. I'll bring the Explorer back because I don't think we'll have anything else for them to look at. "36 lifetime graduates. And we still have our first class. Oh, more slots available. Let's just take a minute. So I need one medic. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just let the dome sort that out for themselves.
The mystery of the black cubes has consumed our colonists completely. The reactions are as numerous as they are varied.
The colonists have divided into factions centered around certain hypotheses about the nature and purpose of the mysterious artifacts. The excitement about the cubes is evident from the schedules of the weekly hearings in the colony. The trivial themes such as the quality of food and the requests for additional scientific funding have completely disappeared, replaced by requests for publicity for each faction's viewpoint. So far, there are 3 major camps. 3. Cube. The moderate skeptics argue that the truth is hardly within our reach, and cubes need to be preserved and stored for further research. The pessimistic ones insist on the destruction of the cubes, seeing them as a deliberate threat. Then there are those who hold the firm belief that the cubes are meant to be a gift to humanity from some unknown benevolent entity. They request the cubes be transported inside the domes and put on display for everyone to see. In fact, decoration buildings made out of the cubes can now be constructed. A gift or a Trojan horse? I wonder. I think we're going to leave those alone for now. Oh. I wonder if okay. I'm going to sneak one of my geologists in there. Great. We're at full capacity for the extraction. Don't have much hope for security guards, but all right. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay with our wheat crops. I'm particularly happy about the rare metals just because it's something that's income producing as well as an input for my electronics factory. Speaking of, we can build that right now. So I'm still leaving this available just in case I want another pathway. Also, I'm a little curious. I know I've never built enough space. Yeah, there's no ramps in this place. It's not too big of a problem because in the end the drones can just kind of go through the base. I suppose it's a little more hard for it's a little bit more hard for things like the commander. Okay, so the harvester doesn't have anything to do. Nope.
The mysterious cubes continue to appear across the colony. Mission Control advises all personnel to remain calm and stick to protocol.
The cube structures tend to emerge without warning, as unscientific as it may sound, out of thin air. Apart from their evident presence, so far the structures pose no threat to the colony. Until further investigation, the Scientific Board of Mission Control have decided to impose an information blackout on the matter to prevent the spread of panic and fear among the colonists. There is a certain sense of urgency to this, it seems. Oh wow, they really... they really proliferate. Ooh, this is going to be a bit expensive, but... I think it'll be worth it, though. Oh, this time we'll do this properly. So let's just take a minute here. Let's imagine we were on Mars. Let's say we're enjoying one of the diners. So get in close. Let's take a look at what... Let's take a look at what our friends here might be seeing. I want to try and get a bit of a wider view. It's a little easier to do in photo mode, but okay. Okay, I think this is as close as I'll get. So imagine you've just finished working in the electronics factory. And sure, there's a bunch of industry, there's a bunch of piping, but every once in a while you get to look in the background, and right alongside the monument, you get to see the shuttle return home. I think one of the things that really attracts me to this game, I've always found it's always been a tricky proposition. Wow, that's a very fast journey. I don't think that's right. Maybe it is. No, there it is. So city managers, I've always had sort of not a love-hate relationship, but I've always struggled a bit. Because I really enjoy city manager style games.
Funding received.
And yet, I also tend to find them a little too challenging. Sometimes these kinds of games usually let me, they let me do lots of things, and I find it very enjoyable to be able to build my own city. But because these games really embrace freedom and the ability to make any choices that you want and manage things the way that you want, and all of these are really good things to have in a game like that, it becomes very challenging for someone like me who sometimes needs a little bit of hand-holding in terms of finding out how the game works. So, what kind of roads should I build? What kind of, what principles should I be applying towards doing certain, doing certain tasks? You know what? I've been neglecting a rather important feature. Oh, no. Okay, I'm lucky. There's no new tasks.
Sector scanned.
So, sometimes I just find it a little overwhelming. Hey, I don't always get a chance to see these guys come to work. This may not be the most exciting job for everyone in the real world, but it's on Mars, so it's so much more. Oh wow, I didn't even know you could see them in I love these little details. So, for somebody like me, it's sometimes a bit hard to play a game like this, just because I don't have a lot of... I don't quite have the mindset to be able to, to play games like that well. I sometimes, again, overwhelm may be a bit of a strong term, but I do sometimes have a challenge in making sure, we're making polymers now, so let's put a polymer depot as well. But yeah, it's a little challenging just because I sometimes find that the game expects a little too much from me, and because there's so many degrees of freedom, I'm not able to get a proper handhold on how the game should be played. Looks like we lost some botanists here, that's a shame. Wow. Our nurseries are getting pretty full. But that's great news because that's going to be more workers for us. So the thing that's neat about surviving Mars, even though it's about a very complicated topic, obviously colonizing and building a sustainable colony on the Red Planet, well, I mean, colonizing and building a colony, I suppose, are the same thing. If you think about the things that you control in this game, so what are the resources you have? Well, metal, concrete, food, rare metals, these are sort of the basics. Your refined polymers, machine parts, fuel, electronics. Fuel is probably a little bit closer to something over here, but you do need water as an input. Oh, and then of course, power, oxygen, water. But basically, these are all... like these are really your only resources, and then maybe you want to include research inside of that. Money would probably count too, but all of it can be understood on these in this bar. And then you could say, it's like, okay, well, where do I get electronics from? Well, your choices are a big electronics factory or a small electronics factory. Where do I get machine parts from? Well, you have a big machine parts factory or a small machine parts factory. And then, electronics, similar idea. Polymers. All of these sort of have the same answer in the form of, I need more of X because X is something that I use to keep my domes open. Or I need more of X because X is... X is... it's an input to another thing that I know I'm going to need later. Or I need X because I want to build Y, and, Y is important because if I don't deal with it right now, a little bit down the road, there's going to be a problem. There's all sorts of ways that you can look at this. I was wondering where I put the statue. It's a little hard to find, but it's right beside the pear store. You know what? Sorry, I'm going to indulge in a little bit of photography. bit crowded. I wonder if... It's a very extreme solution to it, but... Monument in the background. I think we can make this work. So let's remove a little of the fisheye. Trying to get the monument in if I can. Oh, no. Can't quite work it because I can't move the camera up and down. Can maybe do a little something like this. Yeah, I think the one challenge is because of this building in the background, the focus isn't that clear. It's a lot to... Oh, actually, no. I know how I can fix that. It does mean that there's going to be a challenge. So it'd be nice to have that depth of field, but... Oh, wow. I didn't realize the depth of field was affected by... Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah, okay. That's actually quite surprising that the foreground matters that much. I wonder if field of view affects that. Too compressed. Oh, what am I doing? It's focus depth. That's what I was getting wrong. Okay, so which part of the atom do you want in focus? Alright, so let's just widen that out a little bit. It's a little better. I think probably the better photo though. If I wanted to get really artistic. I try to do something. The angles are always... Angles are definitely tough here. So... I wonder how much I can get away with. Yeah, it's a little much. I was just thinking of ways that I could try and maximize the distance, having this guy with their back on the founder, saying they've forgotten the old ways. It's not quite the point I wanted to make though. Anyways, I love the photo mode in this game, but I don't think the muse is with me tonight, so we'll leave it be. Now this is normally the time that I would start my stream, but I did say I was going to try and go for 2 hours, so let's sneak in a little half hour. I may not do the full half hour, but I like you all and I really like surviving Mars, so I think we can get away with it. It'll be my apology for the quality changes. So while we watch the colony, let's think a little bit. Let's take stock. So I currently have an energy deficit, but that energy deficit is made up with the power accumulators, the batteries. So essentially these put out 20 output And so I need at least 2 of them. I believe I have 3 in the colony. So we've got 1 over here, 1 over here. Do I really just have 2 batteries? It feels like an oversight if I only have 2. Well, it will get me by, but I probably should consider building another one before too long. Now the good news is that this number should be going down over time because we're currently doing some upgrades. Now it is eating up all my polymers. Oh, you know what probably happened? Yeah, they all got partial upgrades. Drat. Alright, this will take a while. The polymer factory is definitely going to be working pretty hard at it. I wonder... So 8364. Lazy. Yeah, I was just trying to think if I can move some of my machine parts workers into polymers, but I think I'm just gonna let things take their course. I would eventually like to shift it so that the polymer factory becomes a specialized location. But obviously we definitely have a lot of jobs available. In fact, we have more jobs available than we have spaces for people to live. Okay, now this is actually going to be a pretty important one for me to think about. Because right now, So we're not going to be able to rely on solar power. After one night, I feel, oh, this is a bad time for me to do this, so I would have, no, I need to make more power accumulators. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Do I want to... Okay, engineers, medics, botanists are very high priority. I don't think there's any space for my botanists, that's the problem. Okay, so let's do another passenger rocket. Now what happens if I cancel tourists? We have a few people. Let's prioritize my botanists. Let's see if there's anything. Hey, I thought I said no tourists. There we go. Ah, yeah. Okay, these are all pretty good. We'll go for it. Now the real question is, do I want to bring another cargo rocket with a bunch of polymers? Let's go 40. We'll spend the budget. Oh, that's maybe a little too much food. We'll be getting some with the passengers. And, there we go. Hopefully these arrive before the dust storm. And because we're going to be waiting on these rockets, I'm actually willing to speed things up.
Funding received.
Okay, good news.
Research complete.
Super fungus, so that doesn't have any direct benefit, but it's part of my queue, so let's do the drone hub this time. No, I should have read that. So super fungus was where? Ah, right here. Fungal farm upgrade increases production while increasing oxygen consumption. Historically, lab mistakes involving fungi have rarely been cause for celebration. A recent mishap in the lab seems to be an exception, as we have created a new breed of fungi which holds much promise. And Drone Hub, we can now rely upon ourselves to build the complex hubs that control our de facto heavy labor force. So that'll be a while before we can take advantage of it. But okay, so this is going to go up to 80. This one will be not. Oh, well, we can just keep running that through. Still working on that. Okay, so I'll just be patient. Yeah, it turns out that food delivery was the right call. I hope the polymers arrive in time.
Sector scanned.
Let's take a moment here and again, similar arguments, just making sure that we have the best sort of landing sites. We're not going to be going up there anytime soon, but it doesn't hurt. So notice that our electricity demands are going down. An important thing is during the dust storm, I'm going to need to close the Stirling generators. So that's going to reduce our power. Now I'm going to get a bonus on the wind, so that's nice. But overall, it's pretty important that I find a little bit of a better balance, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be. That's why I bought up all those polymers, because I really feel like I should build another battery. Okay. Build two. It's redundancies. Okay, so this one is passengers. This one is equipment. All right. Let's go for a higher view of our new friends arriving. Oh, careful, little guy. You're right in the landing zone. Maybe he's feeling a little cold.
Colonists are departing.
Oh, great. So 5 fewer mouths to feed because of the tourists. So I'm not going to worry too much about the distribution of these characters right now. I'm going to try and improve. I'm going to try and improve it over time.
New colonists have arrived.
But right now I kind of want to watch people arriving and heading home. So it looks like these guys don't want to go on this rocket. They want to go on the other one. Maybe they're going to enjoy one last bounce on the Martian surface. That's so interesting. They chose one over the other. Yeah, we had a nice new influx of of food. So it looks like we got a couple of people who are not sure what to do with jobs. So let's see if we can fix that for them. So it's a non-specialist and okay, 2 non-specialists. So let's open up another shift at the electronics factory. That should fix things. And we're at full production on polymer factory, which is great because our demand is 8, and apparently we'll be producing sort of 10%. Oh, looks like some people are leaving. You know what? I'm really tempted to make this engineer only, but what are we looking at for machine parts? Yeah, see, we do need some for maintenance. Oh, well, sorry, we already have this maintenance. We do really need as many polymers as we can get, so I think I'm going to sit with this for now.
You can't hide the truth from the public. Not when the colony's being swarmed by black cubes.
Without any credible explanation, the colony was soon flooded with various rumors and interpretations of the mystery. What if they're bombs? Billions of tiny bombs? Or transport capsules maybe, with a mini robot inside? Or deadly hard drives? Or alien eggs? Or messages needing decoding? Or they're all parts of a bigger whole, jigsaw puzzles that need to be put together. The team at Mission Control is against trying to spread further misinformation and propaganda, partly because it would just add to the total confusion, but mainly because it would endanger the best philosophical principles of our mission. We could only trust in our colonists and hope for the best. We have to come up with something better. I sort of wonder... I haven't touched these yet, so maybe I wonder if it changes when I harvest them. There's so many. That's so interesting that the exposure changes based on... It's a really great looking game. Alright, so I need to wait for my turbine upgrades before... What are we at? Yeah, we're actually going to use quite a few of those. So once we're done with the upgrades, then I can consider laying down the foundation for Site B. But we'll also need a drone commander, so again, I'm in no rush to build that. I would really like to get to a point where I am sort of improving my research ability, but it's a lot more important to me to get a sustainable colony first, and then we can consider Site B. I can actually bring one more rocket of colonists if I want. But I think the challenge there is that we're going to have a lot of kids graduating soon. So if anything, I should actually be considering another dome. Just so people can... access or have a place to live. Oh, this is going to be tricky. I don't think people are going to be able to go work in the polymer. So maybe this will be residential and this will be some amenities, but I'll maybe make this residential and a lot of corporate offices for money. I do want to make sure that the comfort level is pretty high there though, because obviously office jobs are not the sort of thing that people think of when they want to go to Mars. So let's think about spires, water reclamation. They don't really need these spire. Let's take a quick look at what my water looks like. Can produce 2.2 more. Well, see. So I'll have something for the farm for sure. Pretty sure the dome needs a water supply on its own. Yeah. So we actually don't have enough to be able to sustain a... we don't have enough to be able to sustain the... Yeah. Definitely need living space. It'd be nice to have a farm and a bunch of houses. Then we build some corporate offices. Maybe I'll build... Yeah, I can build like a casino. I don't know if we really need this many security stations. I might as well. Okay, well, if it's nighttime and we're generating a surplus, then we will be A-okay when the storm hits. So if I were to shut down all my Stirling generators, we're at a negative 29, but that's what we have the batteries. So yeah, I think, we're gonna be really short on water. But we do have storage of 300, so our water demand... Let's don't generate too much. But I don't think we'll have enough oxygen. That's gonna be a pretty important one, so... Let's prepare with another tank. Do one tank for each dome. Well, that's actually 5, but doesn't hurt to be prepared. So, let's think for a little bit. If I had to build one dome, see, the real dilemma for me is that in addition to the appeal of sort of the science Site B, I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait on these rockets actually. Let's fill them up with rare metals.
Sector scanned.
Maybe send one back if my food gets down to 20. So the big appeal of Site B as a science site is that these scientists would finally be able to they'd finally be able to do something more productive, and they'd no longer be taking up the locations that I need for some other roles. So we'd finally have some, you know, non-specialists to do that work. Definitely doing a really good job of training a lot of engineers, though. So much so we're actually running into problems staffing all the locations. It's fine, we should be able to get replacements. You know what? I'm gonna run out of space because we have got... Holy smokes. We have something like 30 kids that are going to grow up to be adults. I wonder if it tells us our... So we've got 10 seniors, 43 kids. Whew. We're definitely going to run out of space soon. This is such a tough call then. Because I don't have the resources available for another dome yet. Okay, it makes me sad, but... I'm gonna take another barrel dome. Let me just see the limits of the... Does it really matter how close they are? I guess not, but I'll do one of these and I'll turn it off for now just because I don't have the polymers for it. I might pay for the polymers just to bring those in. But like I said, we'll wait till the Hyperion is full of rare metals. Oh, you know what? I can't do it. I can't afford it. Okay, we'll wait. Okay, I'm getting close to the end, so I don't know if I want to start the... You know what? Let's do this. We'll weather the dust storm. That'll be my closing point. But I think we're gonna run out of space. I wonder how many tourists we have. Let's take a look. So let's say we want the entire colony, and we'll say tourists. So 11 of those spots are taken up with, okay, so 5. Oh, so I'll be heading home on the next shuttle. But yeah, so I'm gonna, again, I like to relax with this game, but I'm gonna speed things up, or I'm already speeding things up, just so we can get to the dust storm. We'll get through the dust storm, we'll talk a little bit about what the next plans for the game will be, and I'll leave it at that. Alright, that food's a bit worrying. Do we have anything coming available soon? We do. Okay, that's good news. So this will be a wheat crop. And we can actually say none there. Oh, there's only one spot left. Yeah, this will be a little bit of a challenge, but we've got the dust storm, so there's not a lot that we can do about it right now. Oh no! We've got homelessness. I think they're gonna have to do without for the next little bit. Oh no. I kind of want to kick all the seniors out. Oh, there's the dust storm, and we've got a leak. That's gonna be unpleasant to deal with. Okay, so let's batten down the hatches. Okay, this is really brutal, but I'm just gonna try evicting all the seniors, and hopefully these things sort themselves out. So many kids. So we just kicked all the seniors out of the apartments. We're gonna put them at the top of the hill. Whoever can get to the
Sector scanned.
whoever can get to the house first gets it.
Funding received.
Oh, looks like we got one unemployed. So where do you live? So against my better judgment, I'm gonna take okay. Just gonna take this engineer and put them to work there. And Perfecta can now go to work at the polymer factory. Again, homelessness is still going to be a problem.
Meteor shower in.
We'll have to save that for next session. Oh, so many leaks. How are we for... I'm a little worried about the water. I didn't think it would be that big of a demand. I think we'll be okay. I don't have botanists? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's bad, because that crop's gonna fail. That must have been some retirements that happened. Yeah, this is a shame. I don't think there's anything I can do about it though, sadly. Again, trying to kick out all the seniors if I can, just to free up some work slots and hopefully get people where they need to be. So much unemployment. I'm assuming it's the graying of the population. Yeah, I've got 17 seniors now. Okay, we made it through. So I'm gonna wait for this to get the maximum number of rare metals, and then I think I am gonna buy up. I'm gonna buy up a bunch of food, and a bunch of polymers. So I think we'll get some wheat coming online before too long, but it's gonna be a little dodgy. So mostly seniors who are homeless, I'm perfectly okay. Oh wait, no, this is supposed to be the nice stream. I feel a little bad about that, but we'll have a nice place for them to stay before too long. I also think once some of our tourists leave, that will help as well. So I only have a few more rare metals. I'm still on the fast mode, so I think I'm gonna take a minute to launch the rocket. Then I'll call it, because I'm getting a little too late for my stream now. But this has been fun. I know I probably didn't show you too many things that were from Green Planet, but what will probably happen, they'll almost certainly naturally emerge. Oh, you know what? No, I was wrong. This doesn't have Green Planet content. So, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna make an effort to finish this up. What I might do, I might actually start doing some longer videos. If you do enjoy these, let me know if a longer style would be okay. Because I noticed there are a few people who do like this, but I'm still not 100% sure the best way to handle this format. So what I'll do, I think maybe I'll sit down and on a weekend I'll have some really long play sessions, which I'll share with all of you. And I am going to be playing Green Planet live on the stream. That's not quite going to be quite the same experience as this, but we'll have a good time with it. And I'm really looking forward to showing you some of the Green Planet stuff, because there's really some neat improvements. So, jackpot. A tourist from Earth won the jackpot in one of our casinos. Even better, Bella Weir turned out to be one of the more prominent vloggers out there. Judging by the 24-carat smile they sported when leaving the casino, it's safe to say that our budding Martian tourism has hit the jackpot as well. 100 tourists have been added to the applicant pool. Now this is going to be a great source of funding then. So maybe what I can do, I'm gonna build our extension. So let's just see. I'd have to get rid of the sensor tower, but I bet we can fit another dome in. So this is going to be dedicated to buildings, a few amenities, and basically a bunch of corporate offices. And maybe what we can do with all of the apartments, we can... Yeah, that'll be interesting. Maybe what we can do is we get the apartments, amenities, farm, obviously, and maybe what we focus on is building some corporate offices and maybe another polymer factory. But one of the ways we can finance this is by bringing in a bunch of tourists. So, anyways, I did promise I was gonna wrap it up. So let's get that last little bit of rare metals in. There he is. Thank you, friend. Alright. So, we'll say goodbye. We'll watch the rocket launch. And we can deal with the meteor storm. And and our new site on a future stream. So, it's looking pretty good, and our additions were really from here. Now, I think the main problems I'm going to have to deal with, we've lost a source of food, so we're going to need to work on that a little bit. Let's toss out. I definitely didn't plan well for the sort of the aging of the population. That's going to be a bit of a challenge that I need to deal with. And what do we have here? Unemployed youth. They'll be up to no good. Oh, that's easily fixed though. Now what's great is we've actually become self-sustaining as far as electronics are concerned, and we're going to have a nice long source of... well, that's not true. We mined out one of our sources. So... drat. Gonna need to find another source for my waste rock. Or another location. I'll put that there. Maybe what we can do... yeah, we'll cancel it. I'll worry about this later because it occurred to me none of this is going to get saved, so... So, yeah, we're going to have to deal with the aging population. We're going to build another dome to do that. We'll also sort of finance the new retirement community with, we'll sort of finance that with a bunch of tourists to take up the new apartments. Looks like we'll be able to get at least 3. I think we can do a little bit more. It depends how picky I want to be. But what we'll do is we'll maybe get a polymer factory. I might even get, we might even go a bit further, and in addition to a farm, we can build a fungal farm, and that'll be fairly low impact in terms of water. I'm not quite ready for a ranch, I think. Yeah. After that, we'll still fulfill our plans. I mean, the big thing for me right now is that technologically, there's so many cool things that we could access. We could... yeah, I mean, being able to increase the comfort of residents, be able to improve production. Medium domes, yeah, I mean, just being able to build out all of this technology. I feel like being able to improve our research capabilities a pretty high priority. So now that I think about it, this dome makes a lot of sense, because if you take a look at it, what we've accomplished now, we are generating 17 electronics to our 13.5 production. We're generating more fuel than we're consuming. We're generating quite a few more machine parts than we're consuming. In fact, arguably, I can turn off one of these shifts. Oh, here's what we can do. We can make this engineering only. I think don't know if I want to add an evening shift to that quite yet. But yeah, adding another polymer factory. That's really the only thing that we're not generating enough. Well, farms as well. So polymers and food are going to be really what we need. And the big thing here is that we're just ever so close. Our polymer consumption in total is about 14. It looks like 14 and change. Now that'll also go up when we build, when we build some of the new domes and such. But basically, that last little influx of polymers, what we're going to do with that is we're going to need to find another source of water. In fact, it'd probably be good practice to find one anyway, because we're going to be coming up short pretty soon. So maybe we even want to consider the tunnel to Sector G1. That'll begin. Oh, you know what? Maybe this makes sense. The great news about this too is for the tunnel, we need concrete, metal, and machine parts, which we have in abundance. Let's say we build one, here, just for the sake of the argument. Oh, it's too far away. Drat. Maybe I do need another commander then. Okay, so maybe something a little sneaky like this. Still too far. We could get away with something like that. Oh no! I don't want to actually build that. But yeah, what we could do is we could build, maybe not a drone hub, but we put a drone commander here. We get a, let's just get a quick look at what they're. So I'll make the screen width their command radius. Uh-oh. Did I run out of space? Nope, I'm okay. Definitely want to wrap it up though. Can they fit? It's gonna be a tight fit, but I think if I build, oh, drat. Well, it won't actually be moving in because I didn't save. But we do a water extractor. Can put one of those over here. It's just at the edge. Yeah, we'd be able to have a drone commander, and the only thing is it's a little debatable as to whether or not they could actually make it through here. Yeah, those pipes. Well, no, actually, let's think a little bit about that. So we can maybe put the drone commander. What would it be? Let's say it's really conservative. Something like. I guess I need to. No, this is going to be so hard to judge. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious that I may not be able to get the pipe all the way around, but I have some options. So maybe this will be our first. There's a few advantages to putting a tunnel up here, in addition to gaining access to the resources. I'll be able to start scanning these anomalies, and let's add we'll add all of these. But yeah, the big advantage right now is that we're self-sustaining on everything but polymers, and when we build our extension, we'll probably have enough spaces where people will be able to manufacture enough of those. So it's very exciting. Like I said, I really enjoy this game, and I like doing these kinds of streams. So definitely feel free to comment if you like this kind of format, if you like me being a little more quiet. Definitely been focusing a lot of gameplay mechanics, so if you want me to just talk about optimistic things too, we can do that. But this is a really enjoyable game. It's very relaxing to play, and I like sharing the game this way with you. So on that note, I'll wish you a very good evening, and we'll talk to you next time.